Greetings, Mind Crafters, and welcome to another Mindcraft episode on this beautiful day. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and it is my pleasure, and I feel like my mission in life to help people learn to become the boss of their brain. So remember, that's all about the thinking. Thoughts come first, feelings second, action behaviors last. And today, this rolls right into what we're talking about with we're going to talk about the quality of the day and sort of our autonomy around that. The fact that we can choose to start our day over whenever we freaking feel like it. And so my shout out for inspiration, meaning in spirit, I love how Wayne Dyer says that. So we'll say him too, is to Sarah Von Brednick, author of Simple Abundance. It's a day book of comfort and joy, and one that I enjoyed through in my 30s when I was home with the kids, and it was just such a good book. So anyway, she starts out with Henry David Thoreau telling us this: to affect the quality of the day, that is the highest of arts. And I'll tell you, I just think this is such a good topic because so often, which again is a lot what Mindcraft is about, right? We talked about the thoroughbred the last couple episodes being this powerful, gorgeous, beautiful animal. And there's an 85-pound jockey directing this powerful, beautiful animal that can, gallop at, speeds faster than some cars, right? And it's such a great metaphor because we are that little jockey of the powerful mind. And this is why I like to use that because I really think that a calm mind is a really powerful mind. And when we get a grip on the thoughts, get first of all grab an understanding that thoughts dictate our lives. When we change our thinking, we change our lives. I mean, it really is that simple. I usually put up both hands to my Minecrafters and I'll say, raise my left hand and say, is it that simple? And after they get trained up a bit, they nod yes. I'll raise my right hand. Is it that easy? No. Simple, yes. Easy, no. But here's the thing: is nobody affects nobody can turn let's say that nobody can turn our day around except us. It's also similar to when we're talking about the whole schedule thing. Oh, I can't. I'm too busy. Oh, I can't do that. I can't. Okay, well, who's in charge of your schedule? You are. That's it. And even though life happens, we wake up, get a run in our nylons, stub our toe on the table as we're trying to reach for that coffee or tea. Um, Trip over something, I don't know, make half the day can start, then you're just on the way to work, and because you had to run in your nylons or you couldn't find your other good shoe or the puppy got your shoe or whatever, then you're on your way to work and you didn't realize you had to stop for gas, and so then you got to stop for gas, and now you're late, and you wouldn't have been late if you didn't get to run your stocking, and then here we go, right? And so this is the thing: at any given point throughout that whole series of unfortunate events, at any given point, we can consciously choose to turn our day around. We can consciously choose it, even if it's something really big. Now, obviously, there's a spectrum of getting a run in your nylons or your computer pixelating right before you're ready to go to work. And you're like, oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that. I mean, it's kind of like a car. There's never a good time for a car to break down, and there's never a good time for a computer to break down. It's just how it goes. So meanwhile, we're doing all this oh my godding when in fact, what we could be doing is just coming up with a plan to do damage control and make a conscious choice within the circumstances of series of unfortunate events, to make a conscious choice to turn the day around, because our life minutes on this day, even with said whatever happening, are still very, very important, and we can still salvage these. And it's like we can run them through a life minute filter, and just save all those present moments, even if it means creating something good. It's already 2:15, and grabbing, stepping, getting out of Dodge and treating yourself to a latte at Starbucks just to get a grip. There's all kinds of ways to turn our day around. And so Sarah starts out kind of like that. She says, we know that there are many aspects to real life in which our own opinion is neither sought nor required. Sometimes, despite our efforts and positive thinking, health, fortune, and or peace elude us. But the one thing we do have absolute control over is the quality of our days. Even when we're grief stricken, racked with pain, sick from worry, deeply depressed, squeezed by circumstances. How we greet, meet, and complete each day is our choosing. Amen, sister. And then Sarah goes on to talk about like we hate to hear this. I don't like that word hate, but we really don't like to hear this. Why? Because then we have to take accountability. It's so easy to blame legit thing here because we're not saying they're not legit. You blow a tire, you're on the sidewalk, it's raining, somebody drives by without really slowing down, splooshes your brand new suit, your brand new outfit. I mean, you can just go on about, ways that the day gets thrown, and of course, I mean, that's part of life. And earlier, maybe that was even this morning, when I was out walking Giovanni, and it was super early. I think it was like I don't know, 9, and I was out in the woods. And when we have contrast happen in our day, when we have contrast happen in our day, sometimes we really get into digging our claws into the contrast, right? Oh my God, I can't believe this. My computer pixelated. I have a presentation after lunch and na. Not saying that's not stressful, okay? But we tend to and we start with the oh my godding and all this stuff. And when in reality, and it's a tough sell when we're in it. I'm not saying that, but when we return to the fact, because it is a fact, that life doesn't happen to us, life happens for us. And in the end, when we look back at all the curveballs thrown our way, the dots all connect. They all connect somehow, even when it's bigger stuff like losing the job or, a relationship fizzles or whatever. Then we look back and like, wow, I wouldn't have found my now partner if I was still dating his roommate in college. That wasn't so good. Or I wouldn't have landed this awesome opportunity if that said thing didn't happen. And then we have all the little stuff, the little petty, the little stuff that happens all day, like, the bumping into the coffee table in the dark when you got up to tinkle in the night and I have a big bruise on your shin. Somehow, some way, all of that comes together and we learn and grow from it. It's just how it works. And so Sarah says something super spot on accurate because she talks about, it's the whole hungry, angry, sick, tired, kind of like a 2-year old, right? When a 2-year old is hungry, angry, sick, or tired, or just needing a ton of attention and snuggling, they're not their best selves because they're just not. And I would like to make this stretch into adulthood and say when we're hungry, angry, sick, tired, or need snuggling, we're not our best selves either. And if you add in all the negative hamster wheel stuff when we're worried and we're running those worried feedback back loops through when we're running all the fear-based stuff through our heads when we're grieving when we're even maybe a little depressed we are even chaotic and frantic. We're generally in that moment of chaos and dis-ease, not super interested in the day's quality, right? We just are sort of looking forward to the misery ending. And that's the part that's really sad because even if there's only 45 minutes left in the waking day for that person, that's 45 life minutes. Golden, golden life minutes when we're, 80, 90, or 100 plus. I mean, that's a lot of minutes. 45 valuable minutes. We're just allowing, because the word is allow, to slide down the drain when we could salvage them. Even if that means, it doesn't mean we're waving a wand and doing what people call toxic positivity. No, maybe you really are sad. So you head for the hot bath, you dump in a ton of bubble bath stuff, twice the double dose, you pour a glass of wine, grab a good book, light a candle, or you go on a walk, or you call your best friend late at night and spend the 45 minutes, seeking out higher ground rather than just having a mope fest. And sometimes a mope fest is good for a short while. We to feel is to heal. Again, we're not saying don't feel. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying we don't want to be passive about it, like, and just allow that time to just evaporate. Even if it's a mindful mope, that's a little less, painful for me to think about than just allowing those valuable life minutes to just circle the drain. That's what we're trying to prevent. And just remember that age old cliche about misery loves company. That's the truth is misery loves miserable company. And so again, we're not saying to not feel. To feel is to heal. We don't want to do the whole toxic shoving feelings away. However, big however is a fancy way to say but, right? We do want to, set the limit on the mope fest because we are going to attract more of it. We do need to process. Yes, we also don't need to reside there, is what I'm saying. And only we are the captains of our own ship. And so we're the only ones that have the power, the ability to shift into a more positive place. And that's just the plain and simple fact. And so when we're in that misery thing, we got to choose it and then we got to kind of follow through one little millisecond at a time. And Sarah says, by wishing the day away is also a creative choice, even if it's not a deliberate one. By wishing the day away, I can't even imagine. Valuable life minutes is also a creative choice, even if not a deliberate one. So this is the what we're talking about is becoming an artist of life. It's not like, oh, where's she going with this? No, this is really what I'm saying. Becoming because we are the creators of our own life. That we're not making that up. It all starts in the mind. We are literally creating our own reality all day, every day. Does stuff intrude and stuff life happens? Yes, but we're still working around that. Just like, like let's picture a river and there's a rock there. Water goes around the rock. It just naturally yields and goes around the rock. There's going to be rocks in life and we have to kind of navigate and get around it, right? We're still creating every single day. We are creating what our future life minutes will be. And so Sarah talks about artists of the everyday excelling in elevating the simple to the level of the sacred. I love that. Because again, bad things happen. There's usually a bless in the mess, as I say. And again, I'm not saying that it's easy. And obviously, some things in life can be horribly tragic. And still, even when we look back, a funeral is probably the no one. No one. I don't know who looks forward to going to funerals. Like nobody, right? And obviously, there's a range of those because an 85 or 90-year-old who had a healthy, wonderful, amazing life. The loss is still sad when that was the parent, the grandparent, the great grandparent. Not the same as obviously losing a tragic loss of a child or young adult or even or like a young parent or something. There's nothing. It's not the same. And even still, when we look back, if there's any blessing in any funeral, it's people coming together, on behalf not only of that person that was lost, but also everybody who's left still here, who needs to be loved and wrapped around like a burrito. And that's what people really remembered. And so, as horrible as that is, it can be a heavy lift to really focus on there. But when we look back, that's the positive in that. And so Sarah talks about like the in generals here. Like you can use whatever you have on hand, like the simple pleasures, basically a lunch or a dinner, a heart to heart conversation, just, that just feeds the spirit. I mean, just humor too. Humor can work in certain circumstances. Obviously, not the funeral one we just use as much, but in another situation, maybe, um, I don't know. I'm thinking of an example right at the minute, but a relationship just wasn't meant to happen. The person is past the real heartachy part of it, and now there's kind of might be a moment when they're starting to heal that a little bit of humor can enter there. Affection, we want to sort of work hard at creating uh, a feeling of comfort and contentment, and maybe shifting it into a more positive place, putting a positive spin on things, and we have the power to do that. And Sarah also talks about something I do every single day of my life. When she starts her day, she wakes up and she says, "Thank you for the gift of this wonderful day." I do that too. I just say thank you though. I look out. I say thank you twice. I say thank you looking out the bay window before I even get out of bed. I do a little mindful thing also when I'm laying there, just for like a minute. Then I say thank you, and I'm thinking thank you for this gift of I'm back, right? I'm back, yay! Think of the alternatives. When I swing my feet around, my feet at the floor, I say thank you again, and I'm just thinking about my happy feet at the ground, my spine's intact, arms work, legs work, eyes work, ears work, everything works. Thank goodness. I don't say any of that though. I just say thank you, and these are such good things to really implement into your day to really prime it and affect these things really affect the quality of day. How we start the day and how we end the day are huge in affecting the quality of the day. So Sarah also rattles off um, some initial findings that she came up with. So she says there are one, two, three, four, five of them. She says all days are wonderful in direct proportion to the creative energy invested in them. No investment, no return. That was beautiful. Talk about priming the day. Even lousy days possess hidden wonder. Sometimes all you need is a moment of attitude adjustment to shift your perception of an entire afternoon and move forward into a pleasant evening. I love that. Third one, weather does not seem to affect the experiment. Gray, cold, and rainy days spent in an office are just as susceptible to the warming influence of enthusiasm as are sunny days spent lying in a hammock sipping sangria. That is so true. Oh my gosh, we don't have to be affected by the weather. Or if you kind of know you're predisposed to be affected by the weather, we it goes back to the first one she said, investment and return. If you know that, let's say in northern Vermont, seasonal affective disorder is a total thing. If you know that about yourself, you might have to work a little bit harder at getting your ducks in a row with it, but you certainly can. There's the lighting, the pleasant things on the wall, pictures of family, plants, fish tank. There's all kinds of things you can do to make things easier. So the weather's just not an excuse. 4, days are expected to be wonderful before they begin to turn out. Wait a minute. Days are expected to be wonderful before they begin turn out to be so that they're frequent. Oh my God, why am I having a hard time reading? Days that are expected to be wonderful before they begin turn out to be so much more frequently than days greeted with grumbling. I finally got it together there. My eyes are kind of skipping. I think because I get so excited, my mind is like running way faster than my mouth. That's part of it too. Okay, then the last one. So she talks about this intention. Really, is what she's talking about. We've talked a lot about Minecraft. Has just a lot to do with intention. And every single day when I go to the woods with G, I do my whole prayer thing, and then I do how may I be of service, and I end with my intention. What is my intention today? When we decide the day is going to unfold the best it possibly can, guess what? Drum roll, please. It does. Okay? And here's the last one. The results of this experiment suggest that it doesn't matter whether a day is good or bad, it matters what we do with it. And then Sarah says, we knew that. If the quality of the day, summing it up here, is up to us. We are the captains of our own ships and the writers of our own script, the creators of our own reality. And that is it. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful, beautiful northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.